Imagine going to a friend's house for dinner. You laugh, you eat, you catch up, and then sometime in the early hours of the morning, you are gone. Not missing, gone. And the door you locked behind you is still locked from the inside. That is the story of Yu Menglong, a man who went to dinner on the 9th of September 10th, 2025 and never made it home. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, click on the post notification so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Authorities were quick to call it accidental. The case was closed almost as fast as it was open, and the post that contained the most critical detail about that night deleted, wiped from the internet like they never existed. But here is the thing about the truth. You can delete a post, but you cannot delete the question it leaves behind. 6 months has passed since Yu Menglong fell to his death from the fifth floor of a residence. And 6 months later, those questions are louder than ever. Today, we are going to go through everything: the timeline, the inconsistency, the deleted post, the silence from those who were there that night, and ask the question that millions of fans around the world are still asking. What really happened to Yu Menglong? Before we get into the details of that night, you need to understand who this man was, because this wasn't just anybody. This was one of China's most recognizable and celebrated actors and singers, and his story deserves to be told properly. Yu Menglong, also known by his English name Alan Yu, was born on June 15th, 1988 in Urumera, a city in the Xinjiang region of China. From a young age, he had a passion for performance, and it didn't take long before that passion turned into a career. In 2007, he stepped into the spotlight for the first time when he competed in My Show, a popular Chinese reality singing competition. He made it all the way to the top 16 in the Xi'an division, which was no small feat. It shows the world that he had something special, a presence that the camera loved. But music was just the beginning. In 2011, he made his acting debut with a short film called The Little Prince. It was a humble start, but it planted the seed of what would become a remarkable acting career. In 2013, he released his first official single, Just Nice, continuing to build his profile as both an actor and a musician. But it was 2015 that truly changed everything for him. That year, Yu Menglong landed the role of the ninth prince in Go Princess Go, a Chinese historical web drama that became a massive hit. Audiences fell in love with his charm, his charisma, and his ability to bring complex characters to life. He wasn't just a pretty face, he was a genuine talented performer. Then came 2017 and Eternal Love, one of the most beloved Chinese fantasy romance drama ever made. Yu Menglong played the wine-loving fourth son of the Fox King, and his performance captivated audiences across Asia and beyond. The show had an enormous international following, and Yu Menglong became a household name. In 2019, he took one of the most iconic roles in Chinese folklore, the scholar Zhongxian in Legend of the White Snake. It was a bold choice, stepping into a story that every Chinese viewer already knew deeply. But he handled it with grace and skill, earning even more respect from fans and critics alike. By 2025, Yu Menglong was 37 years old. He was experienced, established, and still very much in demand. His career was far from over. In fact, many believe his best work was still ahead of him. And then, on the 9th of September 10th, everything changed. Let's go through the timeline carefully because the detail of this night matter, every single one of them. On the evening of September 10th, 2025, Yu Menglong attended a private dinner at a friend's house. According to a Weibo post by a paparazzo, a post that was later deleted, there were 5 or 6 people present at that dinner. It was described as a casual private gathering, nothing unusual, just friends sharing a meal. After 2 a.m., Yumilong reportedly went into one of the bedrooms to sleep. And here is the first detail you need to hold on to. He locked the door. Now, his friends continued the evening. And at around 6 a.m., as they were getting ready to leave the flat, they made a horrifying discovery. Yumilong's body was on the ground floor below. He had fallen from the fifth floor. A neighbor who happened to be walking his dog in the early morning hours had already noticed something was wrong and called the police. In a follow-up post, also later deleted, the same paparazzo shared that he had spoken to a staff member of the estate property management team. According to that staff member, Yumilong fell from the flat at approximately 5 a.m. He died instantly upon impact, and the window mashed of the flat was broken. On the evening of September 11th, Yumilong's management team confirmed his death through an official statement on Weibo. The statement read that he had fallen to his death. The police has ruled out any criminality and asked the public to respect the family's grief during this difficult time. The case was closed. Accidental death moved on. But millions of people couldn't move on because the detail of that night, when you lay them all out, simply do not add up. Let's talk about the inconsistency because there are several and they are impossible to ignore. First, the locked door. Yumilong went into a bedroom and locked the door from the inside. That has been reported consistently. So how does a man who has locked himself in a room end up falling from a window? Did he wake up in the night and open the window? Did something or someone cause him to go to that window? And if the door was still locked when his friend tried to check on him, why has no one addressed that detail publicly? Second, the broken window mashed. This is perhaps the most disturbing detail of the entire case. The window mashed was broken. Window mashed on high-rise apartments in China are specifically designed to prevent accidental fall. They are not easy to break, though through accidents. For that match to be broken, significant force would have had to be applied. So the question becomes, how did it break? And when did it break? Third, the deleted post. The paparazzo who published the most detailed account of that night, including the staff member's testimony and the specific of the timeline, had both of their posts deleted. We don't know who deleted them or why, but their disappearance sent shockwave through the Chinese internet. When the most detailed information about a person's death suddenly vanished from public view, people noticed and people asked why. Fourth, the speed of the investigation. The police closed the case and ruled out criminality extremely quickly. In a situation with this many unanswered questions, a locked door, a broken window match, a death in the early hours of the morning, surrounded by several other people, many felt that the investigation was wrapped up too fast. Where are the detailed findings? Where is the transparency? Fifth, the silence of those who were there. 5 or 6 people were at the dinner. They were present in that flat where Yumilong died. And yet, not one of them has publicly spoken about what happened that night. Not one. In the month since his death, there has been complete silence from every single person who was there. That silence for many fans and observers speaks volume. 6 months have now passed since Yumilong's death, and rather than fading into the background as those stories sometimes do, the questions surrounding his death have only grown louder. Fans across China and internationally have continued to push for answers. Online community dedicated to uncovering the truth have emerged. Journalists and independent investigators have been piecing together what little information is publicly available, trying to reconstruct the events of that night. The allegation of a cover-up have not gone away. If anything, the refusal of authority and those involved to address the inconsistency has only fueled more suspicion. When you have a case with this many open questions and this much silence from the people who should be providing answers, it is not unreasonable for the public to demand more. Yu Menglong was 37 years old. He had a career full of iconic roles, a fan base that stretched across the world, and a future that was full of promises, and he deserved better than a rushed investigation, deleted posts, and years of unanswered questions left behind for people who love him. We may not have all the answers today, but the fact that we are still asking this question 6 months later means that the world has not forgotten him, and it means that the pressure for the truth to come out is not going anywhere. If this video make you think, if it make you feel, if you believe that Yu Menglong deserve justice and transparency, please share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates as this story continues to develop. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for someone we have lost is simply refuse to stop asking questions. Rest in peace, Yu Menglong, June 15, 1988 to September 11, 2025. Thank you for tuning in to Olive and Beyond.